Hi everyone, this is the first episode of a series I'm making where I built my dream game actually. So this is called My Own Farm Arena. The name might be changing anytime because it's just a prototype. And let's go through my first implementations. It all started back in February of 2024. And I did some fixes, but that's not very important. But then we moved on into the map effort. It's where we started bridging the client and the server. Because will be an online battle arena, we have some networking measures we need to take, and that's alright. And so I had to create a shared movement so I could replicate the movement both on the server and in the client for prediction and lower input times. After the player movement, I moved on to the chickling movement, and you can think of the chickling as a minion in League of Legends, and so it just follows a straight path to the enemy's structure. In our case it's the barn, but it could be the nexus as well. And after the chickling movement, the chickling was okay, but it didn't have any path to follow, and so I moved on to importing the map, so where the structures are as well as the paths, so the chicklings could follow. And for that I made sure that the chickling followed the closest point of the path from the map information. And to sync everything up, I added a tick counter. The tick counter had to be both on client and the server, and I could some basic state synchronization with client-side prediction. Started rendering some world structures. For now, just the barn. Also some tick synchronization on startup for the server and client. I started dropping messages from players if they were too lagged. I created a dictionary so I could map the input to its applying function, and I could actually apply it to the agent. Then I would use the input history and apply all those inputs so I could actually predict from the client. Then all the update was shared and applied. I also did some error fixing, did some very rough pixel art for the structures, started spawning chickling waves at an interval, did some shared state machine code, divided the chicklings to its various routes, created a menu scene so we could have a basic game loop, fixed a bug where the animation wasn't horizontally flipping, started storing all of the agents' information on an update, added logic so that the chickling could attack, fixed the bug where the client would be way behind the server. I fixed the bug where the chicklings would beat up the barn right from their base, so they had pretty long range. I had an idea of making a mini game while you're dead so you could still play, and for that I did some sprites so you can for now just move the agent around. I changed the shadow tint for each team. I started displaying the health on the client side. I did a major structure refactor, started the player attack logic, added win condition, fixed the bug where the player could not move diagonally, a bug where the player health would be behind the structure. I tried and failed at adding death effect particles. I lowered the player opacity when they're dead. I changed the shadow tint for each team, added respawn mechanics so you could actually die and come back. I added projectiles so the player could do some auto attack. Until then I was moving with the arrow keys, and so I moved on to pointer based. Also pointer based camera. Fixed a bug where I wouldn't clean my memory references. I added a target mechanic so you could just click on an enemy and you would automatically follow it and attack it. I did some serious refactoring in the agent script because it's some old game jam code I scraped. Started checking the range based on the colliders, and that's it. You went through the major changes in our project. So next time I'll come with actual news so we can see why this is unacceptable.